Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello and welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to dive into the intricacies of navigating divorce. And specifically, we're going to explore the roles of mediators and divorce attorneys in the process. Whether you're contemplating divorce or supporting someone who is, understanding these roles is critical. So let's go ahead and break it down a little bit here. First off, what's the difference between a mediator and a divorce attorney? It's a common question and, quite frankly, an important one because it's going to give us lots of answers. So let's start with the mediators. So mediators are neutral third parties trained to facilitate discussions between divorcing couples. They help couples communicate effectively, identify common ground, and reach agreements on various aspects of their divorce, such as child custody, spousal support, and asset division, just to name a few. Now, one key advantage of mediation is its focus on collaboration and compromise. So, unlike the adversarial nature of litigation, where each party advocates for their own interests, mediation encourages couples to work together to find mutually beneficial solutions. Furthermore, mediation tends to be less time-consuming and costly than traditional litigation. Since couples are actively involved in the decision-making process, they often feel more empowered and satisfied with the outcome. All right, now we're going to flip it over. We're going to talk about divorce attorneys. Divorce attorneys are legal professionals who specialize in representing individuals going through divorce proceedings. They provide legal advice, advocate for their clients' interests, and navigate the complexities of divorce law on their behalf. Now, unlike mediators, divorce attorneys are not neutral. They serve as advocates for their clients, protecting their rights and pursuing favorable outcomes in court if necessary. While litigation can be more confrontational and expensive than mediation, there are situations where it's mostly necessary. And that's especially if there are significant disagreements or conflicts between the parties. So which option is right for you? Well, it depends on your unique circumstances and priorities. If you and your spouse are able to communicate respectfully and willing to collaborate, mediation may be a viable option. It empowers you to make decisions that are tailored to your family's needs while minimizing conflict and stress. On the other hand, if there is significant legal issues at stake, or if communication is broken down entirely, seeking guidance of a divorce attorney may be necessary to protect your rights and interests. In many cases, a combination of both approaches may be beneficial. For example, you could start with mediation to explore potential agreements and then involve attorneys to review and finalize legal documents. Ultimately, the goal of both mediators and divorce attorneys is to help individuals navigate the divorce process with dignity, respect, and fairness. So that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope it shed light on the roles of mediators and divorce attorneys. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions on this topic or other financial planning issues I can assist with, please just reach out and I'm happy to help. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, we'll see you next time. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to get into a critical aspect of the divorce process, and that is how divorce papers are served. It's really a pivotal moment that marks the beginning of a legal journey filled with lots of complexities and emotions. So we're going to take a look at how this all works. Divorce papers, also known as divorce petitions or summons, are legal documents that initiate the divorce process. They outline the grounds for divorce and the relief sought by the filing parties, such as child custody, spousal support, and asset division. But how are these papers served, and who is responsible for serving them? In most jurisdictions, divorce papers must be personally served to the other party by an authorized individual. This individual could be a sheriff, a professional process server, or even a friend or relative over the age of 18 who is not involved in the divorce case. Personal service ensures that the other party is made aware of the divorce proceedings and has the opportunity to respond to the allegations and requests outlined in the divorce papers. However, serving divorce papers can be a sensitive and challenging task, especially when emotions are running high. It's not uncommon for the serving process to be met with resistance or avoidance by the receiving party. In cases where the other party cannot be located or refuses to accept the papers, alternative methods of service may be permitted by the court. These methods could include mailing the papers via certified mail or publishing a notice in a local newspaper. Once the divorce papers have been successfully served, the clock starts ticking. The receiving party typically has a limited amount of time to respond to the petition and either agree to the terms of the divorce or contest them. It's important to note that the serving of divorce papers marks the formal beginning of the divorce process, but it's just the first step on the long and often challenging journey. For many individuals, receiving divorce papers can be a jarring and emotional experience. It signifies the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new, uncertain reality. During this time, it's pretty important to seek support from loved ones, friends, and professionals who can provide guidance and understanding. Divorce is not easy, but with the right support network, it's possible to navigate the process as best you can. And that's going to do it for today. I hope this episode provided some valuable insights into the process of serving divorce papers and the significance it has on the divorce journey. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, please feel free to reach out. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. All the best. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Today, we're going to address a critical aspect of divorce, and that is how maintenance works for a stay-at-home parent. When a marriage dissolves, the financial implications can be daunting, especially for those who have primarily focused on caregiving responsibilities. So, we're going to look into this topic in a bit of detail to get you some information you can use. Maintenance, also known as alimony or spousal support, is financial assistance provided by one spouse to the other during or after divorce proceedings. Its purpose is to help maintain the standard of living established during the marriage and to support the spouse who may have sacrificed career opportunities to care for the family. For stay-at-home parents, maintenance can be a lifeline during the transition to single life. Without a steady income or the ability to immediately re-enter the workforce at a comparable level, financial stability becomes a pressing concern. The determination of maintenance varies widely depending on factors such as length of marriage, each spouse's earning capacity, financial needs, and the standard of living during the marriage. Courts consider a variety of factors when determining maintenance, and they're going to include the duration of marriage. All right, so we're going to start here. Longer marriages often result in longer maintenance terms, as there may be a greater disparity in earning capacity and financial independence between the spouses. Also, court's going to look at financial resources. The court assesses each spouse's income, assets, and earning potential to determine their ability to pay and need for maintenance. And then there's also childcare responsibilities. So the presence of children may impact maintenance awards, particularly if one spouse is the primary caregiver and requires financial support to continue caring for the children. It is important to note that maintenance is not guaranteed in every divorce case. Some couples may negotiate maintenance agreements outside of court, while others may contest the issue, leaving it to the discretion of the judge. For stay-at-home parents, advocating for a fair and reasonable maintenance really is critical to ensuring financial stability and security post-divorce. For stay-at-home parents, advocating for fair and reasonable maintenance terms is pretty critical in ensuring financial stability and security post-divorce. This often involves consulting with legal professionals who can provide guidance and representation through the negotiation process. In addition to maintenance, stay-at-home parents may be entitled to other forms of support, such as child support and a fair division of marital assets and property. These financial resources can help alleviate the challenges of transitioning to single life and rebuilding financial independence. Ultimately, the goal of maintenance is to enable both spouses to maintain a reasonable standard of living following divorce, while promoting financial independence and self-sufficiency over time. As you navigate the complexities of divorce, remember that support and resources are available to help you make informed decisions and secure your financial future. That's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you were able to get some information that you needed on maintenance for stay-at-home parents and how it works with the divorce proceedings. Thank you for tuning in today on Breaking Ties is Divorce the Answer. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to contact me using the information in the description. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, take care. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Ties is Divorce the Answer. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today is it's a Mike Unscripted day. So I usually have, a wide outline or even a script made for what I want to chat about. But today I'm just going to talk about a topic that I think is important and let you, get some different information that's kind of just off the cuff. And so today's topic really is keeping the end in mind. So you're considering getting a divorce and you got a whole process ahead of you. And really, you want to keep the end in mind. Sometimes it's for motivation. It's what do you want to get out of the divorce and where do you want it to go afterwards? You're just trying to figure out next steps in your life kind of thing. But there's a whole process in between all that. And sometimes you need to lean on that whole vision you have at the end, what you're hoping to happen. Now, there's going to be twists and turns, always are. It's not likely to go completely the way you want to. And really, that's okay. I mean, fair and equitable is a term you'll hear a lot as far as getting to the outcome. Both parties are likely to not be happy with everything, but perhaps you can get to that, being happy with 80% of stuff. And so when it comes to, having what you want to have happen, you got to be realistic. It doesn't do you any good to have this whole thought process of you're getting everything you want. So the outcome's got to be realistic. Your expectations have to be realistic. I mean, the divorce process, even if it's amicable, is very challenging and still you got a lot of tense situations still. I mean, it doesn't mean you're yelling and screaming or anything, but you are going to be probably uncomfortable. I mean, there's going to be some times where things just don't line up with you and your ex-spouse. And let's say you guys don't get along at all. Then it's going to be pretty challenging because you're going to have a lot of back and forth with the attorneys and then getting through the court process and stuff. And then if you have kids, you still have to co-parent in the end. So remember that as well. You may not like your ex-spouse, you may not get along and stuff. However, you got to think of the kids as well and the transition they're going through and the fact that, it would still be good for you to have some kind of cooperation with your ex-spouse. Really, you want to kind of give this some thought as even you're going through the process as far as what's going to happen in the end, because it could change as you're going through the process. Part of being divorced is you kind of rediscover who you are, who you were, dreams, hopes, and things. And it takes time to to get through those and process. And once you get processed of the divorce, you have a little more clarity, and then you're able to start processing on other pieces of your life and aspect of things you want to have happen. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. I mean, keeping the end in mind, like I said, can bring you motivation to get through the process, to stay on track. It can also give you that peace of mind of some direction once you're out, and also at times be a distraction for you to just maybe chill and relax and have some self-care as well. So I hope this video finds you doing well as can be. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer, the unscripted variety. And I'm always here for questions. I mean, I say it all the time, but if you have questions on the topic, or if you have questions on financial issues I can assist with, please don't hesitate to reach out. The more information you have, the better off you're going to be. So join me on the next episode, and I want to wish you all the best. Hello and welcome to Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to tackle a question that weighs, on the minds of many considering a divorce. And that is, does a divorce impact my credit? It's an important concern, as financial stability is often intertwined with marital status. So let's take a look and see what we come up with. We're going to go with starting here. It's really essential to understand that divorce itself does not directly impact your credit score. Your credit score is a reflection of your individual behavior and financial history rather than whether or not you're married. However, the process of divorce can indirectly affect your credit in a few different ways. Now, one common scenario is joint accounts and shared debts. During a marriage, couples often have an open joint credit accounts and or co-sign, say, loans together. In the event of a divorce, these joint accounts and debts must be addressed and divided. So if one spouse fails to make payments on a joint account or incurs additional debt before the divorce is finalized, it could negatively impact both parties' credit scores. And that's because creditors typically will hold both parties responsible for joint debts, regardless of the divorce decree. To protect your credit during divorce, it's important to close or refinance joint accounts whenever possible. This may require cooperation and communication between both parties, which can be challenging during a divorce, but is essential for financial stability moving forward. And another factor to consider is the division of assets and liabilities during the divorce settlement. If one spouse assumes responsibility for certain debts or obligations as part of the settlement, it's important to ensure that this agreement is documented and enforced properly. Failure to fulfill financial obligations outlined in the divorce decree can result in legal consequences, and it could damage your credit score. Therefore, it's essential to work with experienced legal and financial professionals to ensure that your rights and interests are protected throughout the divorce process. Furthermore, transitioning from a dual income household to a single income household can impact your ability to qualify for credit or loans in the future. Lenders may scrutinize your income and financial stability more closely, once after a divorce is finalized. And that could affect your access to credit and the terms of any loans you seek. So while divorce itself does not directly impact your credit score, the financial implications of divorce can have far-reaching effects on your credit worthiness and financial well-being. As you navigate the complexities of divorce, remember to prioritize open communication, cooperation, and careful financial planning to minimize the impact on your credit and secure your financial future. And that's it for today's episode of Breaking Ties Is Divorce the Answer. I'd like to thank you for tuning in and sharing this time with me. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to reach out, email, call. It's in the description of the podcast. So divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. All the best.